Whistled for blocking. That's his fourth foul of the contest.
Just did not get to the spot in time, and that's going to be a blocking foul.
Well, I thought the defender made a good effort, and it's a hard call to have go against you, but it's the right one.
And a change here for the Pacers. Barbosa's checked in. Carmelo Anthony's checked in for New York. And the layup is good. He's got 21.
Offensively, just hammering away in the paint.
And that's 10 straight points inside, too.
Now the pass to Granger. Taken away by Anthony. For the finish. Rips down the breakaway slam.
As soon as they forced that turnover, they really attacked the rim. I like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that was the highlight of the sequence.
Taken away by Anthony. The Knicks leading by 16. Barbosa picks him up. And again, New York with the triple.
Gotta love the inside-out game there, guys.
Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this one.
Yeah, it's been really sloppy out there.
I understand that they're trying to be aggressive, but still, I mean, you can play fast but still play efficiently, but they're not doing that right now.
West can't hit.
And that's the way it's been. A big margin for them in the rebounding category.
You know, sometimes you got to get down and dirty and do the dirty work. And in this one, they've done it, and it's paid off on the scoreboard in a big way.
There's 10 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Hill passes to Barbosa. Hill dishes to Barbosa. He just barely beat the buzzer.
Unflappable. Wasn't rattled at all. I mean, he's the kind of guy you want taking those shots.
Your Pacers, 33. The Knicks, 49.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Here is Hill.
You know, I think it was really exciting for this Pacers team getting into the postseason last year for the first time in 5 years, guys. I mean, the youth helped as we saw the passion come out in that Game 4 win against the Bulls. And I thought they competed very well in that series and have some promise going forward.
Setting the floor for the Knicks. Melo and Amari at the forward slots. Then it's Jeremy Lin, and it's Chandler, and it's Shumpert in at the two guard. Timeout called the Pacers. Clark, I agree with you. You know, it brought the Pacers making it into the postseason. They were the 8th seed, but really did a good job against a very talented Chicago team, Steve.
Yeah, very tough opponents. Anytime you're going up in that first round against a team like the Bulls as an 8th seed, and you get to see what a team like that's made of. And I think that young Pacers squad really accounted for itself in a good way in that playoff run. We'll see if they can take advantage and really have a good season this year. I think he caught a glimpse of the defender out of the corner of his eye because he just seemed to lose his focus there for a moment.
Granger kicks to Hill. Offensive rebound. They're moving the ball. A 3-ball. Indiana again missing.
Another board for them, and they've got a huge advantage in that regard.
Yeah, it's not really a surprise. I mean, rebounding one of the true barometers in winning basketball games, and if you rebound better, you typically are going to win ball games and do it comfortably. You know, you look at Carmelo Anthony last season left the Nuggets to join Amari Stoudemire in New York, and both high-scoring forwards. They give the Knicks a formidable 1-2 punch at the offensive end.
Knocked away. No one back. 2 on none.
Wonderful unspoken communication that time between two teammates.
Boy, Steve, the timing was ideal.
Well, a difficult play made to look easy.
Here's George. He's got 15. Outside Hill. He passes it to Granger. Will it go? Another miss by Granger. And Clark, when you look at Carmelo and Amari as a tag team, you know, how do they stack up as a combo? In fact, Steve, let me direct it to you. Obviously, both very talented. Do you like the way their talents combine?
Well, I don't think they're ideal, Kevin, because they both need the ball in their hands a lot, and neither one really mix, and they need the ball to be effective. So I think it's going to take some time for Amari and Carmelo to adapt to each other's styles and to figure out how to play with each other.
Here's George. Indiana again missing.
Well, I tell you what, guys, his struggles from the field have definitely taken...
Oh! Ho, ho!
Assistant.
Boy, that is an alley-oop of the highest order on the front and back end.
Oh,
Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe that finish? Boy, a little bit of flair and flavor at the end of it.
oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average typical dunk.
And making a change here, the Knicks. Smith has checked in.
Well, I love Paul George's game. From Palmdale, California, north of L.A., a 6'8" athletic wingman. I think he's got a chance to be a two-way star in the NBA.
Pacers trail by 20. Granger passes to George. Inside to Hibbert. Lets it go from deep. A nice shot by George. George has got 6 points in the quarter. Clark, going back to Paul George, drafted 10th by the Pacers back in 2010. They really needed another elite scorer to pair with Danny Granger. And so, Steve, they took a flyer on George.
Well, and I think what's interesting, Kevin, is that they didn't really get the scoring from him, but what they got was an excellent defender. And during that Chicago series in the first round of the playoffs, they relied on Paul George to cover Derrick Rose at times during that series, really utilizing his great length and athleticism on the defensive end.
But they'll get another chance. They get the rebound. Smith against Granger to stop the run, and the layup good by Smith. And the Knicks lead by 16.
I can tell you for sure they didn't want this. I actually can guarantee it. They're getting pounded, brutalized inside.
It wouldn't be so bad if they were getting the same looks on the other end, but that's just not the case.
Carmelo Anthony is checked in for J.R. Smith. .125 left in the third. Hibbert with a screen on Anthony. A nice shot by Granger.
And across the board, his stats, just amazing.
Well, he's monogrammed this game in a big way.
Well, the big story for the Knicks this past year was the acquisition of Carmelo Anthony. Having already signed Amari Stoudemire, the Knicks made the deal for Anthony and all of a sudden had one of the great 1-2 combinations in the league.
And Anthony gets it to go.
You know, he's really one of those guys that you just have to sit back and really appreciate, fellas. I mean, he is a marvelous offensive player.
There's the three. The shot by George, no good. And back to Melo and Amari, they just need to build the right supporting cast around those two.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, those are two foundational pieces that are all-stars, so plugging in around them will be the next step. They're in the process of doing that, too. I mean, New York definitely reversed their fortune with the moves they made last season.
Granger for the three. Another shot. He flies to the bucket and lays it in.
He makes the most of his chances on the offensive glass, doesn't he?
Anthony kicks to Novak. West picks him up. George is whistled for reaching in. That will get him his fourth foul of the game. And making a change here, the Knicks. Bibby's checked in. Here's Bibby.
Mike Bibby.
Defended by George. Anthony backing him down. 6 to shoot. And Granger picks him up defensively. Lynn kicks to Anthony. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. Hibbert's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. From 17 feet. And it's in.
That's exactly how you want to close out the quarter, with a basket.
And, guys, he got it.
With the score, your Pacers 50, the Knicks 60.
Here is Lynn. We've got Danny Granger. West out there with Roy Hibbert. Then it's A.J. Price. And it's Hill in at the 1. That's the Pacers 5. He was all alone on that one. Bibby's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Knicks. Anthony is tagged with the reach. That'll be his second foul of the game. Here's Granger. Off the inbound. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Kevin, a little factoid here about Danny Granger. You know, he came out of Mexico but played his first 2 years at Bradley and became the first ever Lobo to record 60 assists, 60 blocks, and 60 steals in a season.
Good stuff, Clark. Granger's outstanding play at New Mexico. Although he fell to number 17 in the 2005 draft, Steve, he was a steal for the Pacers.
Well, there were some concerns about his knees, and I think a lot of people were surprised to see him slide that far. The Pacers were for sure, but of course, they're glad he did. I mean, he's become probably their best all-around player.
Smith's shot is good. And the Knicks lead by 20.
Another fast break hoop. They're just outrunning their opponent here.
You know what, Steve? I think the defense... Oh! Now that's a special order right there.
Not everybody can cap off a dunk like that.
Yep, very difficult maneuver, but a tremendous one if you can pull it off. That was a dangerous pass, but he put it right where it had to be.
George dishes to Granger from 17 feet out. And again, it's Indiana converting. And so here's New York. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead. New York calls timeout.
I tell you what, the Knicks are not a team that puts fear into you when they hit the road. But they weren't the same pushovers they were in the years past.
Brought up the Knicks on the road, 19-22 last season.
Now, that's a huge leap over what they did in the pre-Amari Melo days when they were really, really struggling on the road. So a big step for the Knicks last season. Let's see if they can capitalize this year and make even more improvement.
Carmelo Anthony's checked in for J.R. Smith. Here's Anthony, and there's another one for the Knicks.
You know, when he plays well, generally the team does too, and it's exactly what we're seeing here today.
And George with this stuff.
Sheer, unadulterated power right there. I mean, he ripped it down with both hands.
Absolutely. Steve, a resounding dunk.
Yeah, a take-no-chances slam, guys.
Shumpert gets the bucket. He has 29. And Clark, they've been a little too casual with the ball out there.
Yeah, I think so. Too cool. I mean, just not forceful enough, not alert or aggressive enough, and sometimes trying to do too much with the basketball.
Sometimes you just got to make the easy pass. Somebody's open, throw it to them. When you do that,